Hello again, viewers. And now that we've taken care of those two outliers, let's make our way back toward the houses. Stopping by the school to help Kotaro out. This episode is going to feature the Dragon Tribe, as voted for by forums user Mehuyel. And I'll be opening this first fight with Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon is the third elemental dragon of the Stage 1s. It plays pretty similarly to Fire and Ice Dragon, although his special effect is that his shots cause an instant hard knockdown when they connect. The explosion radius isn't as big as Fire Dragon's fire bombs, but that hard knockdown does come in handy when you're fighting enemies that aren't defeated in one hit. You'll see that here, as it sends the enemy flying pretty far, and depending on how long it takes them to hit the ground, it gives you a few seconds of breathing room, which is good when you're as slow moving as Thunder Dragon. And if you'll notice that lightning effect around Thunder Dragon's feet when it stomps, that basically gives it the best stomp of the elemental dragons. It expands the stomp's range and sends the enemy flying farther. It's not a guaranteed hard knockdown like the bombs are, but it can come in handy as well. Now that the Death Borgs are gone, you see that a lot of the enemies in this match spawn inside the desks. And while if more of them had piercing attacks, that would be dangerous, I can easily fire back thanks to Thunder Breath. I pop Power Burst here to reload my shots and get some more damage in. Unfortunately, the guaranteed hard knockdown can be a bit of a mixed bag if you forget about it and try to catch them with a Dragon Breath combo. Though you can do it, you just have to, the timing's a little different than it would be for other dragons, and that can take some getting used to. Seems like the enemies have again spawned inside the desk. Though of course that means they aren't able to dodge Thunder Breath as effectively. Which is good for me, because I'm not sure, but I think that was a Panther robot. Oh, and while Thunder Dragon's taken down by Victory Machine, he's certainly put in the effort. Next up, Fire Dragon to clean up. And once again, we pop Power Burst. And looks like we're fighting Victory Machine, Victory King, and Titan Robot. Sorry, it's a little hard to see what I'm fighting as a dragon. Oh yeah, Kotaro and I are doing pretty well. Oh, then as I recover, Kotaro gets the finishing blow. But that's okay. I've got plenty of Victory Machines.
Alright! Yes, we won!
Get another Victory Jet. Not the most inspiring prize, but another bit of the Death Force is repelled. Now we're back to my house.
Hi!
Next up will be Space Dragon.
Let's do this!
Space Dragon is kind of like the elemental dragons, except instead of bombs, he uses beam attacks. He also has a charge attack on his X move that drops a black hole. Well, we've seen the black hole before. It pulls projectiles toward it, which basically makes most Borgs a lot weaker, and they can't hit you from long range. And of course, beams and connected lasers aren't affected, which is why Space and Cosmic Dragon are immune to their own black holes. I generally just find it's a good idea to keep a black hole open at times. And while it does affect your ally, fortunately Usagi's command girl does have her command laser, so she can still fight without it. And I just pop Power Burst because I ran out of beams. And if you're not paying attention, it's really easy to run out of ammo with a dragon. Especially when you're not in a good position to use your breath, and so can't conserve ammo. And I did not realize that was a walking bomb there, so I'm glad it took itself out. Usagi gives me a quick haste, which is good. I could certainly use that speed up. Now I just gotta worry about jelly divers. Now, the jelly scope can affect Space Dragon if they get right up on me like that. Fortunately, that doesn't happen too often, just because you're so big they can't really get you in it. And I think that was an Axe Knight I took out. No, I definitely saw that one, and now it's my primary target, because I do not want to let an Axe Knight fling axes at me. Although it does get one off. Unfortunately, only one isn't going to kill me. And I breathe off Space Burst into nothing. Though from that distance, Winged Dragon isn't too much of a threat. Although that Panther robot definitely would be. And you may have noticed a couple times that I'll just kind of go flying off after I should land on something. That's basically the game saying, hey, you can't land here, and just kind of trying to reset your position. Now, that happens sometimes with every Borg, although it seems to be more common with larger Borgs, in that it can't really find a position for you to sit right. Oh, and I actually got knocked down in Power Burst. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. It just goes to show, in the right circumstance, wing attack is really powerful. Fortunately, it's in perfect position for Space Breath. Really, I can just wait for that and take it down myself.
Alright, nice combo!
Another victory for the Gotcha Force. And after a bit of praise from Usagi, our house is safe. I guess we'll go to Mana's next, though she doesn't seem to be home for whatever reason. Still, we gotta get rid of the Death Force. And this time we'll be using Mechanical Dragon.
Let's do this!
If you heard that voice clip, that's just to let you know Mana is actually here. You can see her with the ally lock on. She's hiding behind the bookcase. She'll come out and start fighting if she takes a hit, but I don't want to get rid of her board because I do a lot of damage. Although Mechanical Dragon is kind of odd in that its main attack, Machine Destruction, it fires at a set angle, which means smaller Borgs that get right up on you, you can't really hit them with it. Fortunately, this battle has a lot of copy men, and because they'll transform into my Mechanical Dragon, I can easily fire back. And because they have, less than a fifth of my HP, they're really just making themselves big targets for not a lot of benefit. Of course, when they're not in my size mode, I'm generally going to have to rely on my machine beams, the remote guns connected to the wings, and those will generally be your main form of attack whenever you're fighting smaller Borgs as a Mechanical Dragon. Fortunately, these are pretty good ones. They move pretty fast, fire quickly, and come back. though because the ammo's not on gradual, it can be a bit more difficult. You have to wait for it to exhaust before you're allowed to fire again. And if you're wondering why Mechanical Dragon has no head, it's because it's another piece of a fusion Borg. Specifically the Machine Dragon, as combined with Machine Head. It's another thing I can't show you in the regular story. You can see, even though I've got way more HP than they do, they are slowly whittling me down. Which is really just the truth of all giant Borgs, in that long battles do not favor you. So you really want to end your matches as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Mana seems to have joined the fight now. And it looks like she's shrinking them down with her witch. Still, it is kind of neat that it's a bunch of copymen here, as you get a pretty good look at Mechanical Dragon and how it fights. It looks like we're down to the last one. Although it does manage to get the drop on me. Still, after a few more machine beams, that's game.
We showed them! Yay! We did it!
Yeah, that was expected.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, Mana. I think you could have. It was just a bunch of copymen. Still, we keep on keeping on. And now we'll be helping Kakeru clear out his garden. That is Flame Dragon. You can tell because it's bigger than Fire Dragon.
We can do this!
And a Flame Dragon here is a powerhouse in every sense of the word. It's almost a perfect setup against this Sirius here. Of course, like with other dragons, you do not want a prolonged fight, and Flame Dragon has more than enough power to make that not happen. In a fight like this, the fortress is your first priority. And if some prototype gets in the way of a Flame Breath, more's the pity for them. Still, Flame Breath builds up Power Burst incredibly quickly, which is great because in Power Burst mode, your flame bombs can take down most enemies in a single shot. Which is good because otherwise those Panther vehicles might have been a serious problem. Because even though I don't get knocked around as badly as a Stage 1 Dragon does, those lasers are not something you want to play around with when you can't really move at all. And it looks like the enemy's down to their last forces, a Proto Red and Proto Blue. And with one last flame bomb, we take the victory.
We showed them!
We're awesome!
Oh, got another Sirius. Oh, a new Proto-Eagle. Seems the dragons are just bringing the prizes today. Oh, now that the homes are clear, let's help out Nakope at the Little Hill. May as well just clear out the north of Safari Town while we're here. These dragons are just sweeping through the invasion here.
You get on my nerves!
This is Blizzard Dragon, the Stage 2 form of Ice Dragon. And like Ice Dragon, its shots can freeze enemies in place when they don't destroy them outright. Again, like Flame Dragon, you've more than got the power to end a fight quickly. Of course, sometimes your shots will fly off into the void. During these fights, you may have noticed I'll sometimes jump before using a breath attack. That's because if you use them in the air, you can fire and aim faster. It takes a while to get there as a dragon, but the increased speed is often worth the trade-off. It's unfortunate that Nakobe is using his knights and that he has to close in for fights, as sometimes I'll hit him unintentionally. Ally hits 2 to reduce damage, but I'd rather not freeze him. And of course, if he's weak enough, I could still take out his Borg. Still, as long as more enemies go down than his, I don't think I'll mind too much. Once again, pop Power Burst and just kind of sweep around. I've been seeing a lot of army robots, from what I can see. I'm not really sure why. I don't get the theme of this fight. And I think that's when I noticed the slow Valkyrie when it was diving by me. And I'd like to get rid of that quickly, as it could actually be pretty dangerous. Unfortunately, I missed the shot there and get slowed for my trouble. So yep, now I'm lurching along. Although with Blizzard Dragon's power, getting slowed isn't too much of a handicap. And thankfully, the beam tank doesn't try and capitalize on my complete lack of agility. Oh, looks like we're down to that machine blue. And one more blast of Blizzard Breath takes it down.
We showed them.
Get a new army robot. And a Cyber Hero Crystal. I didn't even realize they were there. I thought those were beam gunners. Not enough for a beam tank, though. I think we'll just clear out the construction zone with Tetsuya now, and then the north of Safari Town will be clear. And I'll be finishing this off with Cyber Dragon.
No mercy.
The Cyber Dragon's the Stage 2 form of Mechanical Dragon. It's pretty much the same as it goes, it's just bigger and does more damage. Of course, because it's bigger, it's slower. And its Cyber Destruction B attack has an even more extreme angle, which makes it even more difficult to fight smaller Borgs. And unfortunately, this fight isn't full of copy men. All that means is I'm going to be even more dependent on my Cyber Beams than Machine Dragon was. I'll keep trying to use Cyber Destruction, but it doesn't land too often in this fight at all. And of course, Cyber Dragon stomps aren't as good as the Elemental Dragons. So I just kind of lumber around, tossing out the Cyber Beams randomly. If you're wondering why my jump is being so weird there, it's because if you look closely, you'll see Chainsaw Knight's hook attached to my arm. And yeah, even though I'm way bigger than it and should just be dragging it around, when I'm grabbed, it's hampering my movement somehow. I'm not sure how that works, but at least the chainsaw didn't do too much to me. Because honestly, I didn't realize it was there when I was fighting. Yeah, that's one of the problems with using these larger Borgs, is that you can't really see what you're fighting unless it happens to get in a good position, or it has some really distinctive feature to let you know what it is. Like, I can't see the spirits coming from defeated Borgs, but I do know a demon or Akuma Samurai's swords when I see them. So I know that's in there. Of course, they're not too much of a threat, just kind of annoying. Now, one of the benefits of using these Borgs, you don't have to worry about dodging. And it's really just outpower your enemies, which can be kind of fun, especially after having to use more technical Borgs. Still, I try and fly around a bit to get in a better position for cyber destruction, but it doesn't really help. And Cyber Dragon is headless for the same reason Mechanical Dragon was. It can combine with Death Head to become the Cyber Death Dragon. Although, you can't see it here. Oh, and there's an Axe Knight. Though, at this point, a single Axe Knight isn't too much of a problem for me. Especially with Tetsuya keeping them busy. Well, I'm just kind of tanking everything. I did notice the Elemental Knight's fist hit me in the back. And I believe that's a Sapphire Knight's beam. Though really, they're kind of equal priority here, as they can both do a lot of damage to me quickly. So I'm still just throwing out those cyber beams, and I actually managed to land some shots of cyber destruction there. Unfortunately, against these Borgs, they'll go into hard stun after just a few hits, so I can't get the full damage of cyber destruction. But it does knock them around pretty well, so it's still worth using. Done a pretty good job of taking out the enemy's energy. I believe they're down to their last Borg. Huh, if I had to guess, I'd say it was Beam Samurai? I think that's that sword. And though for some reason it doesn't try and close in, or at least it can't for whatever reason, so I actually managed to finish it off with Cyber Destruction.
Alright! I love it!
So, that's it for now. I would just collect our prizes, and that'll be the end of the episode. And we get some Death Borgs, some Night Crystals. Oh, it was an Alt Chainsaw Knight. Nice. There was a Samurai Shogun in that fight? Oh well, thanks for watching.